And we're live. It's
We are. It
funny.
looks that way.
Like I say, always, I have a screen that's loading here and one that says we're live here. So I never know which one to fully trust.
I don't know, but I kind of had my finger in my nose, so who knows what the first video of that's going to be? Is that the thumbnail? Son of a bitch.
Could
Nope.
be.
Let's hope not. All right.
I'm going to pop out this chat and close this window so that I have the chat open. And then I am going to share this link to our Facebook page, which does not let me paste, but if I control V, I can paste, which is, I don't know why they do that kind of stuff.
I don't know either, man.
And I will post it in our Facebook page, and hopefully that will go to our group as well. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think it did this time, so I'm going to put it in our group as well. Share the page.
Most awkward minute.
No, not page. We want to share the group. I have a lot of pages, by the way, that I run, but I like to kayfabe them.
Jesus Christ, man. You need a life.
Why do I need a life?
I don't know, because it seemed right to me at the beginning to say it.
I'm a social media guru. I enjoy practicing social media.
Yeah, you're the #1 commenter on Pornhub, right?
You know, I have a theory about Pornhub.
What's your theory? You know, well, let's start. This is a great way to start the show off. What's your theory on Pornhub, my friend?
My theory is that if you are on a page on Pornhub, YouPorn, any of these porn sites, and it has 100...
For the record, I don't know what porn sites you're talking about, but continue.
Never heard of Pornhub, never heard of YouPorn, never heard of any of these. All right. If you're on a website and it is a pornographic website where you can rate the pornography that you happen to be viewing, if you're on a page where it happens to have 100% positive ratings, that means you're on a very kinky video. And the reason for this is because if it's, say, like blondes or, you know, ethnicities or whatever you happen to be into, or
ethnicities,
well, whatever, big tittied blondes or Asian ladies, like we've said, is sometimes fetishized or whatever, you're gonna get some people like it, some people don't. It's some people's taste, it's some people's not taste. But if you're into the really, really weird stuff, you gotta search that shit out. The only people who find the really, really weird stuff are the people who are into the really, really weird stuff. So, thus, my theory is that if you're on a page that happens to have 100% positive ratings, that means you're on a page that has some really, really weird shit.
So is this Pornhub.com?
I don't know, any whatever porn site you happen to choose. Yeah.
Okay, so I can't just go and find best rated videos? Like, you know, like you can go on some sites
but
and find...
I'm guessing the best rated videos are not going to be the weird stuff. Please don't show a screenshot of it, by the way. That's going to get our videos taken down if you show pornography on YouTube.
There was no pornography on YouTube. All right, how the hell...
So do you understand the concept that I'm saying, though? No, like, you don't get, like, the weird shit on your home screen on most of these websites.
Oh, bro, okay, I see what you're saying, because right now I'm looking at one, like, 98%, 98%. Yeah. It's actually some... What the fuck?
Is it some weird shit?
Yeah. It's definitely... It's one's in Russian.
Yeah, like... well, there you go. So my point is that if you're into, like... If you're just looking at, like, blondes or whatever happens to be, like, just put out there...
So are you saying that blondes can't be 100%? Are you going against the blondes in this world?
Blondes can't be 100%? Yes, I will say that blondes cannot be 100% because not everybody likes blondes. Some people prefer brunettes. Some people prefer...
So what if the first video
redheads.
I seen, she was blonde in that video?
What's that?
The woman that was 98% was blonde in a video.
Okay. Well, maybe it would have been 100%.
If she would have been brunette. Oh, well, I don't know.
What I'm really saying is that regardless of...
So you only watch 100% videos. Is that what I'm getting?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm thinking you're saying. I'm thinking that you're thinking that I know what you're thinking. So I think that's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that the really weird stuff you have to seek out. And because you have to seek it out, people that don't like it aren't going to write it down because they never see it. Only the people that really like it are going to seek it out and see it.
So even if it's 100%, I have to physically go look for that.
Well, I mean, if it's a new video, maybe only people who have liked it have found it. But what I'm saying is, on a long enough timeline, if it's your average porn that people just happen to stumble across, you're going to get a thumbs up, thumbs down. But the stuff that they're not putting on your home screen, the stuff that you really got to dig deep to find, that stuff has probably got a pretty high rating.
Now, my next question, how much research have you done into this?
I haven't done any, to be honest. You would think that I would just go and look up some freaky ass shit inside my mind that I, whatever.
Like
but
you probably have hours on Pornhub. Like,
yeah,
they sign in, balloons pop up, welcome back. There's little blinky lights.
There are probably people watching this that are like, no, I'm into some weird shit, and it's never 100%.
I guarantee, but nobody will type that. Maybe Trevor Tractorhead or something. Maybe one of those guys will jump on it. Something.
Tractorhead, I don't think even looks at porn. He's such an upstanding gentleman. I don't know.
I only really think of a few guys that watch it. So you've just done this research to know.
What about you, John Mark? Have you ever seen any 100% porn?
Yet again, I'm not looking at the ratings. I wouldn't think, right? Like, I don't know. I didn't even know there was a rating system. To be honest, until you were like, so, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, that's I guess that's what you want, right? Now, is that a goal if you're on like Pornhub or what is the other one you were saying? YouPorn, or you want to get that 100%? Like, you want to be a couple million views? You want to have like,
man, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't really know. I would think that let me think. I would think if you're an amateur, you probably take it to heart if you don't get 100% likes. Because there are some of these websites that allow you to be amateur. A lot of them allow you to be amateurs on them, yeah. But I would think the more professional people realize, like, hey, some people like blonde, some people like brunette, some people like, big boobies, some people like big butts, some people, like
stepmom, some people like this, some people like that. Yeah. But like porn is the only place in the world where it's cool to be racist. Like they'll literally put like, you want Asians?
Yeah, that is the other thing that I was trying to get around. I didn't want to say it, but you could pick out ethnicity, and that's not weird. And
but in porn, it's okay to be racist.
I guess.
So if you have a porn site, you just segregate everybody, but in the real world, don't segregate. But in the porn world, because like, who's going to put their marketing behind that? Like, is a Catholic group going to go, I searched 500 porn websites and all of them are racist, and here's the list of them? I'm like, never heard of that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Let's have a peek, shall we?
Let's have a peek at this one. A new one.
Hey, there we go. Not too bad. That's nice. I guess.
So okay, you have challenged my idea by telling me I should seek it out and look it up, but does my idea hold water? Does it hold up to you? Does it make sense? Do you believe what I'm saying is like the average porn that's out there? And there's a lot of whatever. The average porn that you see, first page, is not going to be the most offensive stuff, right? But the really offensive stuff, the stuff that not a lot of people are going to like, not a lot of people are going to be into, probably have 100% because you're not going to find that stuff unless you're looking for it.
But also, who the fuck is liking porn? Who's rating porn?
There are people that like porn, I'm sure. I don't know. I just know that there's a rating system on it.
But you know what, though? Like, would I be going to Pornhub to find that? Or would I just, like, try and find, like, an off-the-beaten-path, like, website? Like, I'm sure there's some websites that people are like, oh, don't go to Pornhub. I got a better one for you where they're all great ratings.
It's all feet porn on this site. See that face that you just did? But you know what? You get a lot of that.
You just got a text message. That's your mom telling you to stop talking about porn.
But no, you get a lot of feet porn on the front page of some websites too.
If you look at it, I guess.
And stepmom porn has been popping up a lot. What is up with that? What is up with like I'm technically related to you and we're having sex, but we're not legally blood related? Like, fuck.
I don't have any step parents, so I don't know if there's an attraction there.
I don't know either, man. I don't have any step family members, but it's a weird thing. Like, it's weird.
It's really weird. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, like, if you're looking for a stepmom, wouldn't you just go for a MILF porn or something?
Yeah.
You know, go down
there are some MILFs that
go down to the old Fraser and just pick one of those ladies up. You know what I'm talking? You know what I mean? Not right now though. COVID protocols. Protocols, my friend.
Protocols. Well, that sounds like an interesting segue. Why don't we get into Ontario? For those of us who are watching, we have a worldwide audience. We're famous worldwide, but we do broadcast out of Ontario, various places of
Ontario, Canada, not Ontario, California.
That's true.
Just to make sure we're
Canada. Good. And in Ontario, Canada, we now have a lockdown that, I don't know what it is. Is it a lockdown? Is it a gray? Is it a red zone? Is it nobody really understands these, but it's officially stay-at-home order is what it is, right?
I'm done.
It was a gray lockdown a week ago. Actually, no, it was a gray lockdown like 2 days ago. And then Uncle Dougie woke up and said, never mind this gray lockdown shit. We're doing a stay-at-home order. And everybody goes, what the fuck is the difference? And
leave it to afford to stall an economy.
There you go.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, listen, listen.
Wait. Before we get into this, I want to read the what exactly is happening according to this graphic that I have.
Okay, hang on. Just so people know, if you're not watching in Canada and you're American, you don't know what we're doing. In Canada, we have colors. Green means go. We still have protocols. Yellow, orange, red, gray, lockdown. So we have that scale.
The thing that I need to specify is in Ontario, it's gone from lockdown to red to gray to lockdown is lockdown isn't a color, but it's the same as if we're in the red zone. And now we have a stay-at-home order. And a week ago we had a gray lockdown that isn't really these are just terms that seem to be made up out of nowhere. Nobody really. There's no logic. There's no we have this many cases, so that equals this. Nobody knows. It's just they pull a name out of their ass. So what I'm going to explain to everybody watching, we have some Ontario viewers. I'm going to explain exactly what this stay-at-home order is. Basically, it begins Thursday at April 8th, which we're already past.
That was yesterday. That was okay.
So midnight is when it started. Basically, indoors, you're only allowed within your own household or one person if you live alone. So I live alone. I can go to one person's house. Outdoors, a maximum of 5 people socially distanced. That's a strange distinction, but we'll get into that. Animal services, vets, and grooming are open. I also know that apparently dog training is open. Childcare open unless limited by regional medical officer. I'm not even really sure what that means.
I'll touch base on that after. Continue on.
Sure. Essential stores now this is interesting. The essential stores can only be open for groceries, cleaning supplies, pharmacy items, personal cares, and pet supplies. But non-essential aisles, and this is the first time this has happened in Ontario, non-essential aisles have to be sectioned off. You're not allowed to let people into the toy aisles or whatever else. And there's various reports on how that's being enforced, but we'll get into that as well. Libraries, pickup, and essential computer use is open. Non-essential stores like malls are closed. You can have delivery or curbside pickup. Outdoor recreationals like playgrounds, golf courses, driving ranges, and courts are open. So we have had lockdowns where the playgrounds were closed. Now during this lockdown, the playgrounds are opened. Now restaurants are closed. You can have takeout, drive-through, delivery, curbside pickup, of course. Religious weddings, funerals are at 15% capacity. Schools open unless closed by a region or medical officer. We may have that change in the next couple of days. Workplace, and the workplace are sort of on a case-by-case basis, but we have agriculture, construction, film, landscaping, manufacturing, transport are currently open, and that's going to be on a case-by-case industry. Mining, I know, is open, things like that. So what do you say about all that?
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's
I'm not becoming American. I'm not letting my Trump supporter ways come out. Like we've gone forward.
Yeah.
We've gone backwards.
Yeah.
We take one step back, and it's almost like it's like we're shit-faced. We're like staggering forward, and then we kind of fall a little sideways, then we stagger back. We lay in the ditch for a little while, then we get back, we start clawing our way back up, and then we're fucking done. It's like, so what the medical officer can do is in any region, they could put strict bylaws in.
That makes sense. So if say Nipissing, which is where I live, if somebody says we don't want well, I guess you're gonna always have grocery open. We don't have, I don't know, we don't want parks open. Okay, the parks aren't allowed open. There's too many people gathering in parks. We've noticed kids are all gathering at this one park. We're just gonna close them all down.
Yeah. Right? So we were green in the Hastings area. We were green.
Sure.
Green. They got loose in Toronto.
Yeah.
Airbnb down to the county. 75 people showed up to a party.
Wow.
Super spreader. They put it all over social media. Bunch of kids. Queen's University, all these kids, they all got together. Super spreader event. I think right now in the area we're at 176 active cases. I think we were at all from a super spreader event at an Airbnb and a winery, and it just took everything out. So we went into gray. I'm like, yeah, we're screwed anyways.
Yeah.
But people are sheep.
People are sheep. So
people that are like, you're a sheep, you don't wear a mask, da-da-da-da-da. There's one meme going around, and it's fake. It's been proven to be fake. I'm tired of it. There's a picture of a Walmart with the masks, and there's like 2 big X's on it. And they're like, you can't get masks. I'm like, you tell me what fucking Walmart that is. I'm like, and everybody shared it. I'm like, oh, left, right, people who like told me to go fuck myself. I'm like, guys, you guys are dumb. You're going to be able to get a mask.
Yeah, you can buy a mask, obviously. There's no mandate that you can't buy a mask. Like,
women are girls on my Facebook and Instagram who do not, I guarantee, shop at Walmart for panties. Apparently the panty aisle's closed. Oh, how am I going to get my pants? Listen, I know because you show them on Instagram, you can't get those type of those panties at Walmart. And hell, I know half of them don't even wear panties. So I don't even know what the hell they're complaining about.
You know from experience.
Well, I heard. I don't know. Like this porn thing that I've got to do research for now. Like because of you, I don't know.
So but here's what's interesting is we're having aisles closed down. I've heard reports, and you know, reports are just people posting on Facebook, but people go to Walmarts in certain towns and they say the electronics section is open. Apparently in my town, the electronics section is still open, but like you can't go get clothes or you can't
you already said why.
Why is that?
In the order, the computer parts.
Oh.
And cell phones.
That's interesting. But why are cell phones essential? And
absolutely.
Huh. Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah. So
I guess computer repair would be essential. Yeah, that makes sense. So if
you need to go pick up a hard drive because your hard drive is full.
Yeah, your hard drive is fried, for instance. You need to put in another hard drive in it so that you can do your work.
It's there if you need to go upgrade your phone. Walmart has that cell phone area, right?
Makes sense. That's interesting.
You need a computer monitor. You need now gaming. Like I can do a lot on my Xbox.
Well, I don't know if gaming I would consider essential, but I can understand you need your computer to do work. That's what I mean, right? Yeah. Your cell phone for emergencies, stuff like that. That makes sense. I can dig that. I can buy that. Parks were like, it's interesting because the first lockdown we had, all of Walmart was open because they had a grocery store, so everything could stay open. Now they've said we're sectioning off the aisles. But the first lockdown, you couldn't go to a park, which seems wrong actually to me, but you couldn't go to a park in the first lockdown. Now you can go to a park.
Well, education now is becoming key, right? So they were saying like, if you cough on a non-porous surface, it'll stay for hours if not cleaned properly. Now they're realizing that it's not as bad as they thought it was, so they're saying it's okay. Like I have a park behind my house, and like it's not. There's a couple of people because I live in an okay neighborhood, but there's a couple people, but it's not. They're not sliding and jumping on each other like. They're all throwing a ball around, waving, having a good time. Like I could have a beer in that park. You can't blow darts or vape or anything, but you can have a beer in the park, which is good.
Yeah. Well, another thing that was interesting about this is you can have a maximum of 5 people outdoors socially distanced. It's an interesting. So does that mean I can have somebody over at my house, but not in my house.
Core.
Is that what that means? Because they can't regulate outside. Like if we're all outside on the street, they can't say only 5 people are allowed on that street. So it's got to be 5 people in my yard.
Could you imagine the brawl that would happen if that was the case? I just go stand outside and start a fight.
So what if I got to run a piss? I can't go inside, say my parents' house to have a piss if I'm at their house.
Just whip it out and just go all over. Well, you got enough room because you should be like a couple meters apart. Unless you got a good pressure behind it, you shouldn't be able to hit it. Okay,
what if I got to take a shit? I got to shit in the streets now?
The neighbor who cut your tree down, his yard.
Oh, fuck.
Use the fence.
Yeah. So it's an interesting, like, how do you enforce that? You can only have 5 people in a yard is what they're saying. And
listen, here's the problem. Be good to your neighbors, my friends. Be nice to your neighbors. If they need you to help cut the grass, put a tree up, help with painting, be nice to your neighbors. Nobody will rat you out. Mm-hmm. Like, that's basically what the whole issue is.
So right? Are you saying you don't support these restrictions?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I think
and this is where it comes, is like, I think that we're adults, and if you create a bubble of 3 or 4 people that you go, like, where are you going? Like, what are you doing? You know, like if you have a group chat, like, hey, what's up? Like, I know a lot what you do. It's like, you're at work, you're at home, or you're basically one of the two. Like, you know, you may go somewhere else, but it's like, hey, I'm going to this and this, or I'm going to wherever. But
you know what I'm doing at all times, what you're saying?
Yes, but basically. No,
how do you know what I'm doing? How do you think you know what I'm doing?
Dude, I talk to you every day.
Yeah, but I'm not telling you what I'm doing most of the time.
Hey, what's up? What are you doing? You're like, man, you know, I'm at work. I know when you work. You work 60 hours a week, for Christ's sake.
Sometimes,
Yeah, so I know when you're at work, and then between that, you got to sleep. Like, you're accessible.
Well, I'm kind of on the go a lot. I'm often editing this show. I'm often working out. I work out at least 5 hours a week. I'm actually probably going to increase that to even more because I'm not getting to where I want to. So there's that. I do have a social life that I
understand, but I'm just saying, like, you see what I mean though? I could tell you within a zone of where you are. Same with me. I go to like 3 places. Mm-hmm. Like I say, grocery stores. I have one friend. I have one small group here that I hang out with, and the wife and the kid. That's it. Like, I'm not going, like, I'm not rocking down to Toronto or going into the city or anything like that. Like, trying to live a basic life.
So do you want to get into how our views on these restrictions may have changed over time?
Yeah, of course. Here's one thing too. Did you get the Amber Alert about the stay-at-home order?
I did get an Amber Alert, but I didn't. I was half asleep, so I just kind of closed it. And I did want to look at it, but I didn't.
Listen here, fuckfaces. If anybody's listening, do not use the Amber Alert system for your fucking lockdown, because what happens is that little sound, it loses its focus. So the next time that there's a missing child and you use the Amber Alert systems, you fucking morons, somebody's going to look at it and go, oh, probably just about the lockdown, and just kind of play it off. That's for fucking missing children. That's not for your government, federal or provincial government to use to just get into our homes and our cell phones. That's not what it's meant for.
Like, I agree.
It's just so fucking got that. I'm like, oh my fucking God.
I agree 100%. So we've got a comment here from Tractorhead. He says, I'm over it, to be honest. If the lockdowns truly worked, then a year later, this wouldn't still be a thing. It needs to be. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Well, if you want to go out, live your life, then do. If you don't feel safe, comfortable, then don't go out.
Mm-hmm. Last spring we did really well. We were down to 900 COVID cases, or some, I think 5. We were getting down real low, but our federal government has failed to attain the proper doses to give to people so that we could get out of this quicker. Like, they've just failed. Like,
I do want to say that, as you know, I have many internet friends, and my parents just got the vaccine, and the
first dose.
Yeah. And the same day that they got the vaccine, they're, retirees, they're, elderly people. The same day that they got their vaccine, a friend of mine in the United States who just finished college got their vaccine. That's like a 20-year-old. They're down to 20-year-olds in the States. We're not even done 60-year-olds. We're barely even done 70-year-olds up here.
Dude, yeah, and down here we can't even, like right now down here we just moved it to 50, 55 plus with ailments.
There you go, man.
So
my views on this have gone back and forth a lot. You know, I remember when I looked at the numbers when this coronavirus thing was coming, and I said, okay, so we're just going to have to, like, everybody's going to get it. We're all going to get it. We're all going to get sick, and we're just going to have to kind of deal with it because there's no way to stop that. And then they started talking about lockdowns, and they're just going to shut society down. And I was like, I don't think they can actually do that. And then they did. And it's like, okay, so we're doing that. We're just going to shut down society. 2 weeks, this thing will be done. We're going to shut down for 2 weeks. That's what we're doing. And it seemed like a bit of an overreach by the government. Like right away, I was like, this is a huge overreach by the government, but like 2 weeks, fucking suck it up. We'll get through it. And then there's these stories about people in the parks, hanging out in the park saying, fuck, you're not allowed to stop me from going out in the park. And I remember being like, we're trying to get this thing going on. Like, I know that they're not allowed to tell you not to be in a park because it's a public place and you own the public place. You pay for it with your taxes. That's your place to be in. But fuck, we're really trying to get this thing done and you're really setting us back by doing that. And then here we are a fucking year and a half later and we're still doing it. Like, this is from November. We're a fucking year and a half later and we should have never let them have the power to shut us down. That's what I'm saying now is, although I did exactly what they say not to do, is you give the government the power and they fucking take it and they won't give it back.
You give them a little bit. And then it takes it and then they take 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 it.
And what's surprising is, and they had me because I was one of the people that was saying, people really shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. Even though I know like legally they should be allowed to, even though I knew that, they got me. But now it's like, wow, we should have never let them do that. Because it wasn't 2 weeks. It's a year and a half. And it didn't do a fucking thing. It didn't do a fucking thing. We still got this COVID here.
So who's to blame?
Who's to blame? I don't know.
Who's to blame? I'm kind of with you on this one. I'm a little bit bitter that the gyms didn't become essential service. Not just because my industry. Like, believe it or not, I do work in a gym. I work at a gym. I don't work out in the gym. But my thing is, like, I've watched people 3 times now. I'm gonna do it a third a year. Have gains and losses, like people coming in to lose weight to get healthy. Yeah. Like, we hit a spike, so then we dropped. Our memberships went down right after the first one. Like, we're not coming back. It's scary. The second lockdown after Christmas, our membership skyrocketed. They're like, fuck COVID, fuck this. My company spent a lot of money on sanitizers. I know every other gym did too. They're like, we got to up our game because we want to stay open. So everybody spent all this money to re-equip everything, to make sure they're ready. We have all these fucking protocols in line. And the government goes, fuck you, you're done. Yeah. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. Now, the first lockdown should have been the exact same way that they did it in Manitoba, what they're doing in Ontario now. Just start wrapping off things that you do not need. Yeah. Like, you don't need TVs. You don't need a TV. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I will say that if they did a hard lockdown, like a hard lockdown where it's like nobody, like I've been working most of this time, but like if they did a hard lockdown where it's like nobody leaves their fucking house and like they got through it, and like in the summer we were down to like the lowest it could have possibly been. If we did a hard lockdown then and just fucking smudge this thing out, I would have been in favor of it. But these half-hearted lockdowns aren't doing anything. It's just,
now the issue becomes, and you guys are at the heart of, North Bay is at the heart of it with the variant, with that Lancelot, with the guy not leaving his apartment and coughing and having the variant, and then going through the vents and it looks like getting people sick for not having proper ventilation. So I think that's what they're afraid of. Now they're saying the variants, just assume everyone's a variant now because they don't have regular COVID. We have super COVID. And our governments, both governments, provincial and federal, have fucked us over hard.
Yeah.
Like, the federal government, to me right now, you're not a government. You're really not. You're not governing anything. You're really not governing anything. You're just basically sitting up there just telling us what you're gonna like. We're just gonna spend money. That's exactly what you're doing. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. Fuck it. Who cares? We're not governing anything. We're basically just, and then they're pushing it down to like the provincial bases, right? Just so you're aware, we're not as bad as Montreal though when it comes to COVID. 8 p.m. Curfews.
8 p.m. curfews. I heard. Yeah.
Yes. Starting tomorrow. 8 p.m. curfews. Everything shut down. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think we go that crazy? Do you think we go full poutine?
I don't know, man. Like it's like I said, it's one thing to say for a week or two, or even a month. I could have said a month. We shut it down to get this thing done with. But when you start telling people, like, I want to go to a restaurant and I want to give that guy my money, and that guy's going bankrupt because the government won't let us do that interaction. Isn't that wrong? Isn't that wrong?
We can do that interaction. I don't like. So here's the problem.
But I can't go into a restaurant and sit down.
Why would you want
it? The government doesn't allow it. Maybe. What do you mean? Why? I want to. I should have the freedom.
Listen. There's not a lot of good servers in North Bay anymore, man. Like the service.
Regardless of that, if I want to sit down for a meal, what's the government got to do with that?
But if I got to call, I'll use some North Bay names here. If I got to call, I'm going to go to Burger World and I want that poutine and fries. I'll order that poutine and like a clubhouse. Oh, I cannot wait to go to North Bay for that. I will literally call them and go, hey, I'm going to come. I'm going to, curbside that. But
you're putting your value on what I want. What I want to do is I want to go into a restaurant and sit down and eat a meal.
I guess if that's your entertainment, like that's
sure.
To me.
Let's call it that. I don't have the freedom to do that. What's the government got to do with that?
But you have a freedom. You have the freedom to choose where to eat, and you have the freedom to enjoy that food.
But I don't have the freedom to go into a restaurant. I don't have the freedom to go to a buffet.
But buffets are the worst.
But I'm not asking you if you like a buffet. I'm saying I don't have that freedom.
That's a fucking super spreader event that I've ever seen one.
Sure. Maybe I want to go to a super spreader event.
But you know what? Here's what I'm okay with. I'm okay with booking time and only giving you a half hour in the restaurant, and then you got to bail out. I'm okay with that. But here's the problem, is that people will use it and they abuse it. And it's not it's the guys like you who want to go out, maybe take a friend out for, a fucking steak and some fries or whatever the fuck you want to eat. I'm not going to judge. You want to go out for sushi. I think you're a sushi guy. You want to go out for sushi. You want to order off the iPad. You want to get the food. You want to sit around and eat. You want to have a good time and a couple of laughs.
Sure. It doesn't matter who it is, but the point is shouldn't you be allowed to?
No.
Why?
Because some of the restaurants
Do you think the government should have the power to just get in the way of people's business?
Correct.
I disagree 100%.
I'm fucking with you. No, I do not. But here's the thing, is that I don't believe that most restaurants have the cleaning capabilities that we want to have there. Like when I went to Boston Pizza, man, it was still fucked up for me. And they're like 6 people. We had a sheet on the table. You had to write your name down, time you're in, time you're out. They only gave you a certain amount of time. They're like, hey guys, it's your last drink. You guys got to be up by this time. We got to clean everything. We got to get everything out. People were like, well, why the fuck do you have to leave? I'm like, cool. No problem. Give me my bill. I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I agree. Like I'm going to cooperate with people if that's how the business is ran. I'm not going to get crabby about it, but I just think maybe the government doesn't have any business telling me and adults what kind of risks I'm taking,
But dude, like you just open up the news and every day there's a stupid adult making a stupid decision.
Sure.
That's going to everybody.
Let me put it another way for you. My parents are vaccinated. The only people in my circle that are susceptible to, that are vulnerable to this disease are vaccinated.
I have no problem with I have no problem with that at all. If you're vaccinated, by all means, like if you want to go down and just say you're vaccinated, let's go and take you out and let your parents go sit down and have a meal. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that. You guys are vaccinated.
What if I want to go have a
meal? You're not vaccinated. When you get vaccinated,
but none of the people that I hang out with are susceptible.
It doesn't matter. We don't know that yet. You think we know that. We don't know that.
They're saying that only people over 80 and with 2 or 3 comorbidities are the only people that actually end up dying from it. Basically, people who are already on their deathbed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, but like, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter to me. Like, so is that a loophole?
What do you mean, is that a loophole?
So is that a loophole? Like, your parents are vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your brother's been on the show, so we know your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you and your brother go over your parents' house. That puts you over the limit.
Sure.
But now your parents are vaccinated. So does that make it okay?
Maybe the only people who are at risk that are there would be my parents, and they're vaccinated.
Are they fully? Do you get both shots or just the one?
No, they've only got the one, but the one works until like it sort of loses momentum. Then you get the booster shot, and then you're good for the rest of your life, right?
Oh, is that how it works? Okay.
That's how I've read it works. So
okay,
don't take like this is not medical advice, and don't take what we're saying as anything.
No, I ask these questions because you tend to know more. Like you just tend to.
I don't know about that.
You just know when you talk about something you know. So I gotta ask those questions.
I try to not say something unless I know. If I don't know the answer,
educated.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I wouldn't consider myself very educated. I went to a trade school, so. But when I don't know something, I'll just say I don't know. But if I do know something, I'm gonna say it, right? Like I'm not gonna say something that I don't know. I'm not gonna just make something up.
So my question to you, and I'm with you. Like I don't like to sit in restaurants anyways, because what usually happens is like I get shitty service. I either get really good food and shitty service, or I get shitty service and or one of them's always fucked up for me. I can never get 100%. But like to me, it's like I'll still support my local businesses. Like I'll still call the local guys and go, give me this. And I'll stop by and pick it up. You know what I mean? Like now we got the chip trucks out, we got the hot dog guy, street meat. Like now I'll go into JM mode and we'll get all that done. You know, like that's what I'm looking forward to doing. Like our pop-up shops seem to be opening up in May 5th, I think, downtown here, down in sexy Belleville. So like I'll go and support the little guys there as much as I can. But at the same part too, like half of us are laid off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like 60% of us are laid off. So like,
a lot of people now, now that there's an extra lockdown in Ontario.
And I don't even give a fuck because I seen a bunch of people on Facebook put, I guess I'm essential because I work at this place in the clothing store in the mall. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, come on. Like I'm helping people's mental health.
But okay, let's go back to my conversation is, for instance, anywhere, if your employer, like if an employer wants a person to work there and a customer is willing to pay money to go there and the government says, no, we don't want that to happen. Should the government be able to do that? Whether it's a buffet the government hasn't
said that. No, the buffets, buffets have changed down here. I don't know if you guys, like our buffet restaurants we have down here have all changed.
So you're saying the government hasn't said that, but you just said people have been laid off because of the lockdown. So the government is saying you're not allowed to work.
My industry is not allowed to work because my industry I can get really pissy about because we can't we're meant to me, when you work out, you're in the zone, right? You work out, you're ready to go. That's your mental health. Like you need an hour, like you said, you want to go bang iron, you go bang iron for an hour. Now you're talking, I'm going to need to do a little bit more now. Okay, cool. So your 5 hours are going to go to 7, or they're going to go to 8, or you're going to focus more on your legs, or whatever the fuck you're going to do. Like that's your mental preparedness, right? Like, hey, I'm going to go walk on a treadmill for an hour. Well, it's only not going to do much for you, but you know what? You're out and you're getting your body moving, your blood flowing. I'm okay with that. Government's like, nope, no good for you. And I'm like, dude, really? Like I have a $5 million facility. So I have 20 staff. I have to lay off again. I laid some of them off 3 fucking times.
Okay, so you just said that I didn't want to get into your work situation, but you just said that you've laid off your staff. Yep. So the government is regulating that you have to lay off your staff. There are people who, despite COVID existing, are willing to take the risk to work out. That's their choice as an adult. They want to give your company money, and your staff is willing to work in this situation, and your boss is willing to pay them to service these customers, but the government has gotten in the way and said, we're not going to let that happen.
Correct.
Doesn't that seem wrong?
For my industry, it does, because there's only been, from what I can understand, in Ontario.
So this is the worst kind of discrimination, the kind against me.
That's exactly it. Here's the deal. This is what I'm saying. Like, there's only been one super spreader event, I believe, in the fitness industry in Ontario. I was in Hamilton at a cycle shop that were a bike, like a cycle place. That's it. That's all I can think of. And I think we've had a couple, like one guy had it and went to a Y. One guy had it and went here, went there. We spend, like I said, we've all spent money on sanitation. The sanitation is through the roof in a gym. And you're healthy and you're working and people are bitching about, I'm like, just shut up. You don't have to be here. You don't have to come here if you don't want to. Like, dude, I can't get it. I don't want to get too much into it, but like, I'm looking at like a restaurant. Like they're going delete, skip the dishes. Okay, cool. I ordered from a place on Skip the Dishes, a local small restaurant. Meal was completely fucked. I call the restaurant. I'm like, what's going on? They go, it's Skip the Dishes. Yeah. The woman apologized. She's like, listen, I'm like, I'm not asking for a refund. Here's what happened. This is how I want it to fix. Can I get this? She goes, next time you call, just let us know. Come on, like just swing by. We'll bring it out to you. Everything's good. I go, that's what I'm doing is I'm trying to help the little guy. It might not be much. It might be a $40 meal. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, you know what? Here you go, $40 meal. But my question to you is, I understand it's not fair from the government. The first time I was with you, I'm with you the first time. First time, I'm like, yeah, all right, you know what? But then the second time at Christmas, I told my neighbors, I was like, listen, here's the deal. And he goes, what? I go, you have grandkids and kids and shit. I'm going to be here for Christmas. It'll be me, my wife, and my son. Park a car here and then just walk over so that if any fucking asshole is looking at your house and sees 5 cars and goes, wow, we're only allowed 4 people in the house and there's 5 cars. Like, don't have to worry.
I feel like I'm getting a half-hearted answer from you because in one breath you're saying the government is overreaching, and in the other you're saying they're not.
They're not overreaching, but they're not closing down the right things. Does that make sense to you?
To be honest, I'm. Listen, man. You want to know when I really started to get the big tip off that maybe the government is overreaching is when they first announced the lockdown. They told me that I couldn't have a fire in my backyard anymore.
Because that's your town too, but that's not.
That is my town. That's right. But because you were going to say, why would that have anything to do with COVID?
Because it doesn't create social distancing.
There's nobody. I'm still only allowed to have 5 people in my yard, right? Like, or none. I don't even remember what it was back then, but let's say it's none. Was no people are in my yard and I have a fucking fire. That doesn't spread COVID. Like, there's no reason.
Adam, yet again, you're a different case. You're an absolute different case. Like, fuck, remember when we were kids? We're going to have a fire. 84 of us showed up and we sat around the fucking pit.
But let's assume that they're following all of the other COVID protocols, but they have a fire.
I don't
care. Every other rule, they're not breaking any other rule. They don't have 85 people at their house or whatever. They're just by themselves having a fire.
Yeah, and I believe, and that's what I'm saying is that if you're alone having a fire, no problem with that.
But that's the rule. The rule is you're not allowed to have a fire. There's no one allowed on your property, and you're not allowed to have a fire.
Yeah, I don't understand why you weren't allowed to have a fire. That doesn't make sense to me. But like I said, you're not going to be the asshole to break the rules. It's the other people that'll be the assholes to break the rules.
So what I'm saying is the government is overreaching.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. Now they are overreaching. But here's my next question for you. When we come through COVID and then the flu comes around, are they going to shut us down again for the flu season?
Well, that's the question. If
where does it stop?
If they have the power to shut us down for COVID, who's to say they can't shut us down for whatever they like? A bad flu or a bad cold or whatever.
But how the fuck have we not gotten enough vaccines? Give me a fucking break.
Like I said,
there's only 35 million of us in here in Canada?
Yeah, well, like I said, in Canada, we're just getting to the elderly, and in the States, they're all the way down to the 20-year-olds. So.
Fuck, dude, in Texas, for the Jays home opener, or Texas home opener against the Blue Jays, 40,000 people in the arena and the stadium.
Wow.
Do you know how fucked that was to watch?
How many people got COVID?
They stopped announcing COVID in the States, by the way, if you didn't know that.
Oh, yeah?
They don't give numbers anymore. Since other states are like, no.
We don't do that. That doesn't happen anymore.
We don't do that here. No, but like, where does it stop, man?
I don't know. Well, that's kind of my point is
like, can we get an outdoor like strip, like a lap dancer? Can we get an outdoor strip club? Can we get one of those?
that'd be nice. I'd enjoy that.
Yo, would that not be something? Having a fire, watching a chick on a pole, drinking a beer, and eating some chicken wings at a buffet, all outside. That would be your perfect. Would be our perfect world.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what we're opening.
There we go. That'll do it.
There we go. Wow. And we'll have subscriptions to Pornhub.
So while we're off on this tangent, I did want to circle back to something you said a couple weeks ago that at the time I let it slide for the sake of conversation.
Oh.
But I want to circle back and say that is absolutely not true. I'm not addicted to working out.
No, not at all. No. But what I'm saying, like, you enjoy, like, you just said you work 5 hours, work out 5 hours a week, right?
Yeah, that's an hour every day during the week.
Yeah, that's not bad. Like, I know people that do a lot more.
Sure.
Like, you just enjoy it. Like, that's like your addiction that gets you out. Like,
but it's not an addiction. It's not an addiction.
Do you enjoy doing it?
Enjoy it.
If you don't do it for a week, do you really fucking hate it and you can't wait to get back into it?
What I would point out
is you do.
No, but what I would point out is that it is a hard thing to go and work out. Like, it is a fucking grind. There is a lot of days where it's like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't feel like fucking doing this. And I will tell you, as someone who seems to be interested in working out, those are the days where you make the most progress, is the days where you want to skip your workout and you do them. The days where I like fucking working out are easy, but the days where I don't want to, and they seem to be happening a lot more often.
Now, do you have a gym membership?
I do.
You do? Okay. So, like, and you also have workout equipment at your house, right? Like, you've always had workout gear. As long as, like, since, like, we were in high school, you've always had workout gear of some sort.
Yeah. Well, once I got into high school, I started, why am I paying for a gym if I can get one at home? And slowly but surely, I've decided that it's best to have workout equipment at home and go to a gym.
Do you like going to the gym, though? Like, is that, like, do you have, like, a routine where you go to the gym?
Do I like going to the gym? I don't.
You don't like going to the gym, eh?
No, I don't like the people at the gym. I don't like people talking to me when I work out. I don't like socializing with them. I want to get my workout done. But I also feel like it's like a lot of people who work at home are finding is if you don't go somewhere, sometimes you'll skip it. You know what I mean? Like if you don't go to the gym and do your workout, and you say, I'm just going to work out at home. Sometimes you put it off. And next thing you know, you're in bed and I'll do it tomorrow. Whereas if you say like, I got to get to the gym by 8:00 and get my workout done, you're more likely to do it. And then you have weights at home. If you happen to miss your workout is good.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're addicted to it, but like that's your thing. Is you love it. You know what I mean? Like when I think of you, I don't think of you. I think of you as like the non-drinker, like the pretty much clean-cut guy, the guy who takes care of himself, the guy who does this and that's what I look at you as. I don't look at you like it's not a bad thing.
That's interesting because there wasn't very long ago where a lot of people we know thought of me as a drinker. And when I told them I was quitting drinking, it was like, I can't see you quitting drinking. You'll never quit drinking. You'll be drinking again in a year. Like stuff like that.
No, but dude, like to me, it's you. I don't know. Like, like there had to be one of us. Like one of us had to be a non-drinker. Like, give me a break. Right?
One of us had to be a non-drinker. I don't know about that.
Are you coming back to the dark side?
No, I'm not. I will not be drinking. Although I also have, our talk about cigarettes and not smoking has also made me realize that if I ever did start drinking, I would immediately start smoking too.
Absolutely. It goes hand. I like a good cigar.
I just wouldn't have the willpower to not do it. I'd just be like, fuck it, I need to smoke.
No, dude, I remember you drinking. I can't remember you drinking, and I can't fucking picture you with a cigarette. After that show, and you're like, I used to smoke too. I'm like, what?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is the other thing that I find when you talk about smoking with people is nobody remembers somebody else smoking. You know what I mean? You always remember that you're a smoker and you remember I smoked for fucking ever and whatever, but you don't really remember the other guy. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that it's like, oh yeah, I guess he did smoke. And like they smoked forever. They just recently quit, you know? Like there's a lot of people that's like, oh yeah, I guess he did smoke. Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah. But the ones that get you are the guys, and I'm not going to name names because nobody watching this would know them, but the guys that started smoking at like 26 and still sometimes I'll see them smoking and be hanging out with them. And it's like, you fucking smoke. Like that blows my mind.
Dude, you got through your high school career without a dart.
Yeah.
Just fucking forget about it.
Yeah. And
what
then
the fuck?
At like nearly 30, they're just like, I'm going to try this terrible addiction out.
Isn't it ridiculous?
Yeah.
Is it not?
Hey man, I spent a long time trying to quit, like a long ass time. And when somebody's like, I'm going to start smoking at 26, it's like, what are you doing? Like I've been like, it's hard to fucking quit. You can't like, and you just take it as like, it doesn't count. You know what I mean? You're just breathing this air. It doesn't count as anything. It's just fucking, it's nothing. It's nothing. And then, well, one puff doesn't count, you know, like,
but dude, like I would like to see. I'd like to see the company, the darts companies, if they've gone up over this lockdown, because people got to be bored shitless. They're gonna be like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna start. I was gonna put a heater in, and I'm just gonna keep going."
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, I would actually. Now that you say it, I bet you a lot of people have.
Oh, they're stressed out. They're stressed out. Instead of eating, sitting at home and eating, because the first lockdown, everybody gained 15 pounds. I still can't lose. Like. Yeah. Oh, now get me this time, Fordo. Oh, yeah.
It's an interesting thought because I feel like one of two things would have happened. Either one is people just smoked more out of just boredom. Two is everybody kind of saw it as a New Year's resolution because a lot of people, I don't know if you've been watching, but a lot of people on my Facebook have gotten fit, a lot more fit. There's very much two divides on that. And I'm saying it might be the same for cigarettes. Is a lot of people who got out of shape and a lot of people who got in shape. And I think maybe cigarettes would be the same as a lot of people who said, I'm going to quit smoking. And there's probably a lot of people who doubled down on smoking.
The double pack. Just roll up to the reserve, 2 cartoons, throw them in your car and heater after heater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
so we're 47 minutes into this, and I don't know if we've touched on a single topic that we planned on touching.
We did. We touched on darts and Pornhub and outdoor strip clubs and fighters.
We talked on Ontario lockdown, which was one thing that I did want to touch
base, but I didn't want to go into a 50-minute marathon.
Yeah,
It's got to be a short show at night. 50 minutes later, you and I are sitting here arguing semantics on business. Now, another question though. Will we see more just pickup places like Express, like Pizza Hut Express is coming around now? Like no more dine-ins for a lot of them. They're building them. They're just Express grab and goes. Are we going to see more restaurants like that?
More restaurants grab and goes.
Like, do you think like it's going to be like here's the takeout menu? Like we would prefer if you did a takeout.
You know, I think yes. I think that you will probably see a lot of things strive because of COVID. I think that we'll be telling our kids and grandkids like, oh yeah, that started out because of COVID. Like that's a relic from times gone by where back in the day when COVID was a thing, you had to do that and you had to take out was whatever. And I think you're going to see a lot of things strengthened by COVID and a lot of things weakened by COVID.
Are we going to see the concert ticket go through the roof? Like they're fucking high now. Ooh. Do you think they're going to go even higher? Like Rage is getting back together, I think, in the States next weekend.
Well, that's actually interesting. I don't know what's going on in the States, but I know in Canada, all Canadian tours by Rage Against the Machine have been canceled.
Of course, because they can't make money.
Yeah, I don't know about the States.
No, but like
I read that all Rage Against the Machine tours were canceled for 2021, and that they've even explicitly said we're not going to do this half capacity bullshit or whatever. It's either we're playing for a full stage or we're not playing at all.
So they're just going to play in Texas.
I don't know. To be honest, like I said before we had this conversation, I had thought that all of their concerts were canceled. But being a Canadian citizen, it is possible that I was only looking at Canadian news sources and they just meant all Canadian sites were canceled, and perhaps you have different information.
Would you smuggle yourself across the border to go watch a Rage concert?
Oh fuck yeah. Hey man, I was up until a day or two ago, I was trying to figure out like if they're not canceling them, I'm going to these Rage concerts.
So I figured out a way we could do it. We just got to go down to Cornwall. There's a little path.
Okay.
We just jump over. They're kind of walking back and forth. We'll go down to Cornwall. I'll show you around Cornwall. I only know of one path because I watched it on CTV. So we're good.
Sounds like a deal to me. I heard there's a town on the border of Canada and the United States that are watched over by a group of super troopers.
Oh.
Have you seen the new one?
I have. Of course I have. And that's a great, I wish that were to happen.
Yeah.
Later, maybe. Later. I actually enjoyed the second one.
I did too, man. I loved it. I saw it.
People were being assholes about it. I'm like, this is great.
I saw it 2 times. And like, you know what, man? Like maybe it's because we're Canadian, but like, and all the guys that played the Canadian cops are actually Canadian, but like those accents are fucking good. Like I know people at like work that it's like that guy sounds exactly like the guy in Super Troopers.
It's so true. Oh man, I loved it. I love that movie. The second one was great.
Yeah, I thought so too.
So have you ever gotten the fake news and posted it and then get your hand slapped and get let's just say you get DM'd, X'd about your.
Oh, that was a bad joke.
That was a bad joke. Was that a bad joke?
Okay, but I know where you're going with it. This is the DMX.
I literally posted because one of his crew members posted "Rest in peace, DMX."
It was one of his crew members. Wow, that's crazy.
And that's why I posted it.
Yeah. So for those who aren't following, what we're saying is there's news that broke in the last hour before the show started, although it's probably about 2 hours now, is that DMX had died. And about a half an hour after that, news broke that no, he didn't die. He's still alive, but he is in critical condition.
Well, he's Hillary Clinton supporters. He's in a vegetative state. And he's eventually gonna die. It's just they don't know when. What got me was one of his crew guys was like, "Rest in peace." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then they were like, "He's not dead. He's not dead. He's just in a vegetative state." So I don't know if he's not coming out of it. It's unfortunate. I was a DMX guy. I really enjoyed DMX. I don't think that wasn't your cup of tea.
At the time, yeah, but I mean, in the last 20 years, nobody's been into DMX.
Once in a while, like I'll hear like a DMX tune. On is it Deadpool? Does Deadpool have one?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah. And you hear it, you're like, oh yeah. And then you listen to him on Spotify for like a day, and you're like, okay. I don't think I'm allowed to listen to DMX. I get a sunburn. Like I got a sunburn from yesterday. I am way too white, man. I cannot. Imagine just. Well,
I believe that the lyrics for the Rough Riders anthem have been Googled furiously as teeny boppers furiously try to memorize the words before their new idol dies so they can say they liked him before it was hip to like DMX.
That's it. So TikTokers, get ready.
Yeah.
X gonna give it to you. That's exactly what we're gonna hear. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to hear it. No, but it's unfortunate. Apparently it was a drug overdose. Yeah. But it was too much drugs. It was a drug overdose that caused a heart attack, that then caused him to go into vegetative. He was doing so well. He was preaching, and everybody's coming out with good stories about him. He had some criminal past, but in America, that doesn't matter. America, I'll give it to you. America goes, you paid your debt to society. You're ready to go. You're good. We love you. Come on back. DMX was
not entirely true, but we'll get into
for the most part. But if you're famous, they tend to forget things.
Oh, if you're famous, of course, yeah.
Yeah, they forget things.
You know, I joke around. I was a DMX fan, and I think everybody was back in the 90s and early 2000s. But, you know, he hasn't exactly been totally relevant since then. Kind of fell out of the spotlight, but and has had some rough times. But, you know, I wish him the best. And
it's unfortunate. It sounds like it's the end of the road for him, but I mean, hey.
Really is unfortunate. Yeah.
We're in a better place now that we have him. So, I mean, we had him. So, I mean, he was part of our high school years. So, I mean, throw him into that mix of what I say is still the best genre or the best decade for music. But, hey, that's only me.
I think you'd be alone on that. That is only you.
All right. Right.
I would not say that the time when nu metal was big was the best decade.
I love nu metal. I'm still a fucking Limp Bizkit fan. I still like Korn. You know, I like Rage and all the other shit that goes with it. You know.
You know, a lot of people blame baby boomers for ruining the economy, for ruining, previous generations, for ruining the ecosystem, the environment, for doing all this damage. But you got to take a little bit of blame because we are the generation that got Limp Bizkit radio play.
Dude, I love Limp Bizkit. You know what, Adam?
We've gotten into your musical taste in the past. I don't need to put it on display every week.
You chew me out for it. I just love it.
I don't chew you out. You
go, your music sucks.
I don't say that. I don't say that.
know what you listen to though. Like you won't even come out and tell me what you listen to.
I listen to a lot of
Rage. I know you listen to Rage.
I listen to
Foo
a lot
Fighters.
of Deftones. Foo Fighters. I listen to be honest, I've outgrown the Foo Fighters. I think that their first 2 albums were their best, and then after that, they kind of got a little formulaic. But they're still very good. Like they're still very good musicians, but there's a pattern to their music, so I sort of lost interest in them. I like a lot of stuff. I'm into rap. I like a lot of Eminem, to be honest. I've got a bit of a wide range in taste. I like metal. How
deep metal? Like we talking like Megadeth? Like things
good,
like that,
sure.
like Pantera, stuff like that.
Pantera is good. I like Slayer a little bit, but
Slayer, there you go.
Not a huge, not
a Slipknot guy.
I do like Slipknot, although I will admit that Slipknot is kind of trash. They're kind of like a guilty pleasure for me. It's funny because I went the exact opposite of most people. Most people, when we were in high school, they were like, oh, look at those cool masks. They look cool, so I'm going to get into them and whatever. And I went the opposite. I said, those guys are fucking stupid. Those guys are not for me. They're gimmick is what I would call them. They're a gimmick band. I'm not into them. And then once I heard more of them, I was like, they're not that fucking bad. And once I got more into their music and put their gimmick aside, I started to like them. Whereas everybody else went the other way. They said, well, I think that they say they don't like their music now, but I think that it's more that they grew up and they realized that they liked them because of their fucking gimmick, their masks or whatever. And then once they outgrew that gimmick, they stopped liking them. Whereas
that's the key, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of fell for their music.
And then what happened with me was that working in the bar industry for so long, like you just start hearing after a while, it just become background noise, but you hear that beat. So you kind of get into that. And you're like, all right, cool. And then you're like, hey, I like this song. You're like, that's Justin Timberlake. You're like, oh. All right, well, I'm still going to listen to it. And you get, when you went to Calgary and I was working in a bar, it was just our music taste kind of went a little sideways.
You've always had bad music taste. Quit trying to make excuses.
So true, though, but I just love to dance. Why are you making fun of me? All I want to do is dance.
All right, man. Well, let's get into Khloe Kardashian. So Khloe Kardashian had a photo taken of her at a poolside that was on a lot of her pictures. I guess I'm not totally familiar with the Kardashians. I may have to defer to you a little bit more on this story, but a lot of her pictures are Photoshopped, touched up, done up. This one was not. This is her au naturel. This picture has gotten out. And as everyone knows, the Barbara Streisand effect, I've talked about it on this show, is once you want a picture to disappear from the internet,
it's everywhere.
Double down and spread it as much as possible. So she has been trying to get rid of this picture. People have said, body positivity. She should embrace this. It's a shame that the Kardashians create this unrealistic standard of beauty. And once a picture of them, the reality of what they actually look like gets out, they do everything in their power to suppress it. They shouldn't do that. They should almost have a responsibility, a lot of people are saying. However, other people are saying that Khloe Kardashian was bullied for not looking as attractive as some of her siblings. I don't know who her fucking siblings are. So apparently she has more attractive siblings than her. I don't.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, no, of course she does. Yes.
Is it? I don't know who the fuck her siblings are.
She's still hot, but she's the ugly hot. I don't even know if
that
makes sense.
The ugly hot, apparently. Okay.
So for us, we if you see a girl, you go, wow, that's a 10. These guys are 20s and 21s. She's a 17. She's not ugly.
Oh, but she's still over a 10, eh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's a 17. How ugly? She's like the attractive cousin on the Munsters.
I'll give you that one.
She's hideous, and she's like the most attractive one.
Okay, Adam. Let's talk about body shaming for a minute.
Sure.
I'm a fat guy. I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you. I'll eat a burger, poutine, drink 17 beers, and call myself fat. I don't care anymore. I'm done with it. Here's the deal. Should we not support that, or her PR should be switching?
Okay.
They, instead of getting rid of it, they should use that on a campaign. Hey,
well, that's interesting. You should say that.
It's just a natural looking woman. She's the natural. I'd switch it away. I go, I'm the natural Kardashian. I'm the one that's regular.
I understand that. That would be an interesting campaign. However, what she is saying is that because she was bullied for not looking as good as her siblings, that she's insecure about her body. She doesn't want a picture of her looking less than perfect out there because she's insecure. She couldn't bear to have people say a single negative thing about her.
Okay, so that whole family's kind of fucked, right? Like her dad got OJ off, was part of the dream team. That's how they kind of were known. Her sister got famous for making a sex tape with a shitty rapper.
Okay.
And then they all kind of followed right behind it. Like,
okay.
I don't care. To the Kardashians, I don't care. Listen, you guys portray yourselves that you can achieve this if you have the right genes and all this shit, and you've been caught photoshopping and filtering and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you want us to feel bad for you. Mm-hmm. Listen, just shut the doors in your $50 million estate surrounded by your $3 million a year security team. Nobody cares.
So let me ask you this. There's two ways that I see this. One is she's a person, and at the end of the day, that's a picture of her. If she doesn't want that out, does she have any right to say, "Hey, man, don't share that"?
You put yourself in the public eye. That's exactly what happens.
And that's the other side of the argument: is you're in the public eye. You make money off of how you look. You kind of have to suck it up if a picture of what you really look like.
Holy fuck, who cares? Hey, I had an off day. Kiss my ass.
Well, and that's it, is if you're making, and I'm gonna say I agree with you. If you're making your money off of how you look and a picture that shatters that illusion gets out, no matter how bad it looks, you kind of have to live with that, right?
That's it. And it's a bad day. Who cares? Mm-hmm. Honestly, who really gives a shit?
Yeah. So Khloe Kardashian, suck it up, man. This picture is going to be on the internet for forever. And, the truth is out. You're going to have to live with it.
That's it. Hey, man, that's it, man. Hey, you don't like it? It's a cool thing to do. Just go hide in the bush somewhere and just shut all your TVs off. Shut everything off. Just go hide in the bush.
Yeah.
And just say, I'm done.
If you don't like it, get out of the public eye.
That's it. And you say you can't, you can. You just got to go to like Flin Flon, Manitoba or something. Just get out of here.
Manitoba.
Like
is there a Flin Flon, Manitoba?
Google it, baby.
I don't know. Is there?
I was going to tell her she'd go fuck herself in Dildo, Newfoundland, but then I don't want to get censored. You know
do you know there's a swastika not far from here?
There is. It's also a conception based south in Newfoundland as well.
Huh.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And a Moonbeam, Ontario.
I believe that.
It's up. I believe it's up. Is that not up by Swastika? I don't like saying that word.
It's not a nice word, but yeah, there are whatever. There are signs that tell you how to get to swastika in North Bay somewhere. Anyway, we're getting off on a tangent here. Intel's Bleep. I told you a little bit about this before the show. Basically, Intel has created software that will use artificial intelligence to detect what is being said during a chat, and they will censor it using...
Sorry, my dog is about to knock.
Oh, okay.
Kessel,
I noticed you were kind of doing something.
He is on jerk off the... Just move. What are you doing? Stop being an idiot. Oh, this is done. Give me a second.
Oh, there is no limit to the technical difficulties that my broadcast partner is going through. Right when you think you've seen all the possible technical difficulties, I don't know if this is a technical difficulty or a interpersonal difficulty, but right when you think you've seen it all, Jean-Marc.
my dog was like looking at the wires.
Yeah, like I was saying to our audience, is right when you think you've seen the depths of the technical difficulties, you pull another wild card.
I had to, because I just seen him and he was looking at me. He had it wrapped around him and he just stopped.
All right, let me start this one again.
Please do.
So Intel has created software called Bleep. Basically, as I was telling you before the show started, it's basically an artificial intelligence that will detect what you're saying, and if it detects certain profanities or whatever, it will censor it. Now, one of the things I was explaining is there's sliders, so you can slide racism on and off. You can turn swears on and off. There's actually a whole lot of customization into this, and even you can have degrees of racism is the other one.
What?
Yeah. And don't ask me to explain what degrees of racism is. I don't even really want to get
so
into
that. Means that you could call a white man a cracker, and we can't do shit.
Like, there's a slider to turn on and off the N-word. Of all the words that you're going to censor, like, come on. If you're going to turn that thing on, that's got to be the first one that's gone, right?
Dude, it's brutal. You like you're playing Call of Duty. Oh, and you're not in a group chat. Like if you're just playing solos or something, and you get it.
Yeah, I get that. I played a lot of Mortal Kombat where I don't really play Call of Duty, but I played a lot of Mortal Kombat where the guy would trash talk you, and of course I'd beat
the N-bomb. The N-bomb. It'd be like some 12-year-old white kid, his parent, like probably his mom's beside him, dropping N-bombs. I'm like, what? Yeah. How does my color of my skin determine on what I'm gonna do to you?
Yeah, you can call me whatever you want, but I've got that weird Minnesota Canadian accent, eh? So, what do you think about this? Well, your dog is.
You see him, eh? You see him, yeah. He's just laying over here.
So, what do you think about this censorship idea?
What? Okay,
it's a good idea. You think we need censorship, or like you spend a little bit more time in these? Chats.
I spend a lot of time on them. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay for that in the open forum. But if I'm in like a group chat, like let's just say there's 5 of us in a party or 4 of us in a party, you're not censoring that because we're just bullshitting each other anyways. Like nobody's gonna listen to us, not gonna hurt anybody. Okay. But like if you're in an open mic, oh absolutely. Like so Call of Duty, when you shoot somebody, your comms open for I think it's 3 seconds. Okay. So like the minute you kill somebody, whatever he screams is in your ear.
There you go.
So they will drop the minute you shoot somebody, an N-bomb just comes flying, and you're like,
"Oh, is that what they do? Is they just kill you so you can hear the N-word?"
No. Like when I kill them, I hear like N-bomb. I'm like, really? Wow. But now PlayStation, the PSN is recording all of the audio that you're talking to throughout the PlayStation. So if you say something, you can be, and somebody were to do it, they'll go back and listen to it.
Oh, so they already have sort of a policing mechanism in place for the PlayStation.
They do, yes. But awesome. I mean, yeah, again, that just seems like overreaching, right? Like, I know it's bad enough that Facebook is censored. Now everything else is censored. I'm just surprised it took this long. But like, if you're having a conversation, I think we're more intelligent enough to have a conversation without dropping F-bombs or N-bombs or anything of that nature. But to have a slider,
yeah, it's pretty.
Now is that slider for people who just use that like freely? Do you know what I mean? Like a rapper would just drop that all the time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess it's if you're in a community where it's kind of cool to drop the N-bomb, which we are not part of.
Never will be. We can never drop that bomb, but
yeah, you can turn that slider off. But like for us, we could turn the F word off. If you want to call someone a fuckhead or whatever, hey, we'll fucking turn that on. But maybe if I'm playing with my little cousin, I'll make it so you can't. If I accidentally call him a fuckhead, it'll censor it.
But okay, so I don't understand that. Like maybe Rocket League they're getting it, but like kids shouldn't be playing Call of Duty anyways. And I literally think I got chirped by like a 12-year-old yesterday. So like I don't even know if.
I'm just saying, I was playing Mortal Kombat at like 8 years old. Actually, at 8 years old, maybe even 7, I was playing Mortal Kombat, which is like you rip a guy's heart out in that game. So.
But it's on what, Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's shitty graphics. Now it's a lot cooler. Now like you rip the heart out and like beats in your hand.
Yeah, well, it was actually photographic violence back then. So it was pretty realistic at the time.
At the time it was. No, I don't know, man. Like, does that mean they're going to censor our podcast?
Well, fortunately, we're not broadcast on the PlayStation Network or Xbox.
Thank God. Well, technically we could be if you stream it through your Xbox and or PlayStation.
That's true. Yeah. They'd just be like, wow, these guys, their mouths move a lot, but not a whole lot gets said, eh?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, and Adam, and here comes Jam. His face is red.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I wonder what he said there. Lips are all blurry, like I was in a Japanese porn. I don't know, man. No, I don't. What do you think? When does it stop?
What do I think? Honestly, I wouldn't use this. I'm more interested in having people just say whatever the fuck they want. I think that if I had kids, it might be a good idea, though. I'd probably want to be able to censor what they're hearing and who they interact with when they're online. So honestly, I think it's pretty cool that we can have a bot that will use artificial intelligence that can pick up what's actually being said in live time and censor it to protect our children. I think that's pretty wild.
Yeah, but like I'm gonna set my child up to be like if he wants to play video games, which I'm sure he will, because I've got a plethora of them. I mean, like, I'm gonna start him off on Nintendos, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, not the old shit we play, but like, here's a Switch, or here's whatever it is at the time. Like, here's your video game. Like, this is what you're gonna play. And you're gonna play aged games.
Sure, but at like 10 or 12 years old, they're probably going to start venturing online into group chats and stuff like that. It might be a good idea to have something that could protect them from something potentially dangerous.
And I've played with a buddy's 13-year-old kid. Like we've played like PUBG or Call of Duty or whatever have you. And when like you're in a group chat, it's like, okay, buddy's kid's in here. You got to watch your F.
I know, and you know, but there's a lot of fuckheads on the internet.
Absolutely. We're a couple of fuckheads ourselves, buddy.
Yeah, but we're not like that. But there are a lot of people that would say some pretty crude things to children and just be like, fuck it, get off the internet then.
Yeah, go cry to your mom to tell her. Yeah, I got some good tricks for kids. They get real mad at me. I'm one of those fuckheads.
Maybe we are those fuckheads then.
I am one of those fuckheads. Like, hey, tell your mom next time a little less mayo on my sandwich. You know what? I'll tell her tonight. Oh, my mom's a good girl. Starts crying. I'm like, day's done.
All right, so thank God that Intel has created something to censor Jean-Marc for when he's on the internet chirping at little kids.
Who spent the money on that though? Like
Intel.
But who funded that? Where you're like, what can we do? You know what we need to do? I got an email from Karen saying that her kid got chirped by a guy in Canada with a beard. We need to help this. And they go, that sounds something fun.
You got to think it's a probably pretty profitable corner of the market, right? I mean, we know there's a problem on the internet of obscenities and vulgarities being spewed out on these group chats. Everybody knows it. It's pretty common knowledge. Well, they've figured out a way to fix that problem. So they can sell that technology to other people or just sell whatever they have, install it on other people or other platforms and make some money off that.
It makes sense because yet again, it's one of those things where we didn't even think of like, we knew there was an issue, but we never thought of fixing the issue. We're just like, yeah, it happens. They're like, fuck it, we're going to fix it. So I mean, good on them, I guess, right? Like good on them for like making it more kid friendly. But if they're doing it for like PSN and Xbox, I'm assuming they're just trying to just get more kids to get off the Nintendo platforms and move on. Because like, the kids dominate the Nintendo platform, right?
Yeah. All right. So last story here is one that I actually was going to talk about a few weeks ago. And then I didn't feel like I knew a whole lot. I didn't feel like I knew enough about it. But Lil Nas X, I don't really know who that guy is. But he's got a sneaker that he has. Basically, he's repackaged a Nike sneaker and sold it. He sold 666 versions of this. It has real human blood. It has upside down crucifix. It even has a biblical quote on the shoe. Nike has ordered a cease and desist against him. And do you know who Lil Nas X is?
I do.
What do you know about this guy? Fill me in. I need to know more.
I don't know. I don't know. I only know about the shoe.
Okay.
I work with a couple of sneakerheads.
Okay.
That were talking about it, and they were kind of talking about it. And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So they told me the same thing you told me about this shoe.
Yeah.
He only made 666 pairs.
Yeah.
And then Nike said a cease and assist or whatever the fuck, how do you say that?
Cease and desist, yeah.
And then people started just going, we're going to boycott Nike. And I'm like, okay, morons. Who cares? It's a goddamn shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as long as the blood was like if you like, he's like, hey, take a pint of blood from me or whatever I do, like to donate. I will put my blood into it.
Sure.
Cool.
I mean, it could be anyone's blood. It doesn't really.
Where is the blood? Is it in the
It's in the
shoe?
It's in the heel. It's in the heel, like the heel of the shoe. Like from what I've seen,
like a little vial. Is there a little vial of blood?
No, man, it's like a lot of blood. Like I don't know how accurate the videos that I've seen are, but it's like how sometimes you can see a big there's like a big heel on the bottom of the shoe, and like you can see inside of it. Sometimes you have like almost like a gel in there or whatever. Well, you can actually see inside, and there's like blood swishing around.
That's awesome.
It's like a lot of it.
So you want to know what people can do to him?
What's
if
that?
It's his? Just kill somebody and just throw his blood on the crime scene. Think about that, though. You literally could just go around and go, yeah, there's a little bit of blood. There's a little bit more. You give him that much blood to put it at a crime scene, to put yourself in prison.
Frame him for murder. Yeah. I mean, it also gives him the ultimate out is that if they find his sneakers broken up or whatever, he can get out of it. I don't really know for positively if it's real human blood. Some people have suggested it might just be for show. I don't know if anyone's ever claimed it's actually his blood. It's just supposedly real human blood. Now here's the interesting thing that I didn't know, that I didn't really think about because I'm not really a shoe guy. Are you a shoe guy?
No, fuck no.
Okay. So what's interesting about this story is this isn't a shoe that he like made and put a Nike swish on or whatever. This is a shoe that he bought. He bought 666 Nike shoes, and then he repurposed them. This is a big thing that people do. They'll buy these actual shoes, and they'll put like whatever the fuck. They'll make art out of it. They'll make a Freddy Krueger shoe, or they'll make a John Cena shoe, or whatever, and then they sell them again as their own version of these shoes.
The John Cena shoe. Can you really see it? Sorry, I had to get that in there. Continue on with the shoe.
Bravo. So what I am pointing out is this cease and desist. How can you cease and desist someone from reselling your shoe? Like if I bought Nikes and I was like, you know what, this doesn't fit me, I'm going to put it on the Facebook marketplace and you can buy a size 10.5 shoe, only worn once. It's yours for half the price. I've already bought it off Nike. They got my money. So what I do with it afterwards is none of their business.
So what's stopping? Okay, so that's a great call, because we have a mutual friend who has a Dodge Charger, I believe, that did some modifications to it.
Okay.
Now, what if Dodge said you can't modify our vehicles? We're going to take it back.
They're not allowed to say that. Once I buy it, it's mine.
That's the point.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the point with Nike. Is that like, then where do you stop? Like, I bought this home.
Yeah.
If I want to put an add-on on, is the old owner going to say, I cease and desist because I built the house to spec and you're ruining it? I'm taking the house back?
Yeah, these are interesting questions. These are very interesting questions. And the cease and desist is because they're selling a Nike product, but they're not, like, Nike's already been paid for that. They're not making their own product and putting Nike swoosh on it. It's a Nike shoe. They've modified it a little bit and then they sell it. You know, they've made art. Like if I buy a canvas from Walmart and then I paint on it, I'm not allowed to sell that painting because I've modified it.
Yeah, it's true. The textile itself, right? Like,
yeah,
that's what you're buying. Huh. That's a great, yeah, I have no problem with that. Like, I honestly, like, I didn't even think, I thought Nike made the shoe with him. I didn't know that he rebranded it. So he just went out and bought 666 pairs of black Nike shoe.
Yeah.
Of whatever size.
Came up with a cool design and made it on all of the shoes. And Nike has said, no, you're not allowed to do that with our stuff. We're not allowing you to do that. But they already bought it. You already bought the shoe.
Yeah, so what the fuck's the point? What's the problem?
I think that Nike is overreaching. I don't think that they have the right to do this, but because it's got a Nike swoosh on it, they don't like what he's doing with his shoe. You know, this also opens up the conversation. If you're a creator and you do this kind of stuff, if you're making money off buying a bunch of Nike shoes and then rebranding it into something you like, Nike might put a cease and desist if they happen to personally disagree with what you're doing with it.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think, like, now that the repurpose thing's in my head, I might go on eBay and look for some repurposed shoes.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of cool to know, like, like Sandra in California made this shoe for Nike and was like, this is my art shoe. And I'm like, I would wear those. You know what? Send me a pair of those.
Yeah. Yeah. If you happen to like the style of the shoe, it is a form of art. It's they take this canvas that Nike has built that's perhaps an iconic shoe, maybe like an Air Jordan or something, and they make it into a Satan shoe, which is what's happening on this, or they make it into a Freddy Krueger shoe, which you happen to be a big fan of Freddy Krueger, or I don't know, maybe Jack Daniels. It's a Jack Daniels Air Jordan shoe or something cool.
Twice.
But
but I'm with you on that, man. Where does it? Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
But all of a sudden Nike says, you know what? We don't like that. That's not all right. We don't. That guy can do that with the shoe because there's other shoes that they're fine with, but we don't like that.
So like if somebody from Sick Kids, like if they went to Sick Kids and were like, here's a bunch of shoes, repurpose them the way you want to do them. We're going to eBay auction them off.
Yeah.
Nike says, no, sorry, kids, you can't have it. No, they got to do it for everybody. You can't just pick one and not the other. Because
that's another point is that what they're going to do? Is they're going to put a cease and desist against everyone now? They're obviously not going to do that, but that would be the fair thing to do. They're, to me, I think that Nike is wrong. Nike's in the wrong for this.
And to me, it worked out better for the rapper because now those shoes that he probably was already getting $1,000 for now are $10,000 shoes. Why? Because everybody's talking about.
That's the other thing is if you got one of these shoes, you keep goddamn good care of them because they're going to be worth a fortune. I promise you. I promise you.
I sell them right now.
Sell them right now? Why?
Everybody's talking about it. Price is high.
Everybody is talking about it, but in 10 years, that's going to be the shoe everybody says, I fucking wish I had one. In 20 years?
That might not have resellability because that...
Hey, man, it might not. Lil Nas X may not have a whole lot of staying power, but this controversy is going to make it hard to get your hands on them, and it's something that some people are going to want. Collectors are going to want. Hard to get your hands on. That's a valuable combination.
I guess so. I kind of agree with you on that one, I guess.
Yeah.
Works for me.
So with that said, I think we've gone through our entire list. Do you got anything else?
No, just pet my dog because he's looking at me.
You want to show us your dog?
Kessel. Come here, boy. Whoa, he's running away. Where is he? There he is. Kessel.
Look at him.
Oh, hey, buddy. Hey. Coming in with Dad today.
I can't wait till this COVID stuff's over so I can go down there and pet that dog.
Yes. Oh, no, he's sleeping on me.
And of course, meet your child. That would be good too.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, it's a good. He's a good kid so far. So I mean, it's not bad.
That's awesome, man.
All right, man. Anything else?
I think that's it, man. I guess we can end this stream. Before we do, I just want to say like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, if you see anybody talking about something that we talk about on this show, please feel free to share one of our videos. That helps us out and spread it out for everybody to see. Thanks for watching, guys.
And if you're on Pornhub, tell them Adam sent you.
Yes, absolutely. If you're on Pornhub, please, and if you're on Pornhub, this is what I want you to do. This is going to be a new tradition we're going to make with this show. If you're on Pornhub and you find a 100% rating, please tell them no offense.